What are the spiritual properties of Monstera? Welcome to the Wildflower Woo Woo Show. I'm Michelle Wildflower, and today's episode, Monstera, in our Houseplant Magic series, in episode 28, we're going to learn a little bit more about Monstera and its spiritual properties. And you might notice that my background is a little bit different today because I'm actually in St. Petersburg visiting my daughter. So as you can see, there's a beautiful ocean background, and I think you can see it, yeah. So thank you for joining me, thank you for your patience, and let's get started. So the Monstera plant actually grows in tropical places, and its leaves get really huge. Like if you have the plant in your house, it might not get as big as it can because it just can't. And it actually flowers, but a lot of times if it's living in a household, it doesn't, because it's just not getting the kind of nutrients that it needs from the soil and the sun and all that it would in the tropics. But it actually does flower. Its leaves, its name comes from the Latin word to grow, and it's Monstera kind of, is associated with monster because it gets so big. So this plant is associated with, I wanted to say we're airing a little early today. Sorry. We're airing a little early today because in St. Petersburg, it's really hard to find a place where there's not a lot of people. And there have been people coming through here all day, and this was a quiet moment, so I wanted to seize it. So thank you if we're a little before schedule. Anyway, so the plant is associated with abundance and renewal. Because its leaves can get so huge and it's kind of viney, it can grow in many different places and overcome obstacles. That's kind of what it's associated with for you. So if you're trying to attract abundance to your life and you have some kind of growth that you're having to go through, or renewal, it symbolizes renewal, vigor. The leaves, like I said, because they get so big, are associated with growth. So it attracts abundance to your house if you have it in your house, or in your space, or whatever you're living in. And it also signifies growth, growth, renewal, and vigor. So if you're in a position where you're kind of feeling like you're seeking that growth, but it hasn't come yet, or if you feel it, maybe you feel it, you're like in the midst of it, you can kind of identify with Monstera and use it in your spell work or whatever to help you in that transformation. It also is known to put out a lot of positivity. So if there's a space that you feel is kind of negative or makes you sad or uncomfortable or something like that, the plant is thought to emit actually positivity. So that's something that if you are, there's a space that makes you sad or depressed or something like that, you can actually bring it into that space, and it will kind of clear the negativity and bring in an air of positivity to the room. So that's an option for you. And this whole month of February, we were talking about houseplant magic in our February series. So if you're interested in the magical properties of alocasia, you can go to our episode at the first week of, or actually it was the second week of February, and find out more about that. And I'm not sure if you saw or not, or if you have heard, but we've been saying that we're working on something big. We've been saying it for about a month now, and we're finally in the finishing touches, and I'm just about ready to launch it. But before that, I wanted to introduce you to some of the educators that we have at our spiritual retreats. All the retreats in the past have been women's empowerment and spiritual awakening retreats, but for this year we're actually opening it up and allowing everyone to come. For 3 of them, 2 of them in July and September will be women's empowerment and spiritual awakening retreats. But we have 2 planned in April, one for the solar eclipse. It's an astrology retreat, and in that retreat, what comes with it is all the lodging, all the meals, but you'll also get an astrology reading in your astrology chart, And the whole retreat is going to focus on astrology and your chart, what your sun sign means, what your moon sign means, what your rising sign means, how the planets all play together in your personality, and how the placement of each of them has a lot to do with the influences in your life. And then there will also be a gemstone therapy session, Reiki, meditation. So we'd love to have you join us. You can go to naturesmysteries.com to sign up. That one's called Venus's Beginnings, and it is April 5th through the 8th. And then the next one is a Rockhounds crystal digging retreat that we're having April 18th through the 22nd. That one's in Arkansas, and we'll be mining for crystals there. And the place that we're staying at, it's very beautiful. It's very private. There's big porches, a swimming pool, and that retreat is about 70% full. So if you wanted to come to the Rockhounds Crystal Digging Retreat, I strongly recommend that you reserve your space. It is a beautiful spot, but it doesn't accommodate that many people, and we have a lot of people that are interested in the event online. So if it's something that you're serious in finding some really cool crystals with some great like-minded folks, we'd love to have you join us. Go to naturesmysteries.com, sign up today, and reserve your space. Also, what we have coming up that I wanted to tell you about, the big thing, is we're planning a summit, a spiritual summit. It's Awakening the Divine Feminine Spiritual Summit. That is March 30th, and it's a 4-hour summit from 1 to 5 p.m., and we'll be learning spiritual tools of mysticism that have been used for ages to awaken the divine feminine within us. And we'll be discussing and interviewing some of our experts in the field that are able to explain, how to empower yourself, ways that you can meditate. I'll talk a little bit about astrology, some sound healing. How does that sound? Does that sound fun? Yeah. So we'd love to have you join us. Like I said, that's March 30th. You can go sign up for that at naturesmysteries.com. It's also on Eventbrite, whichever one you prefer. And again, that's March 30th from 1 to 5 p.m. And in that event, we'll be launching our new thing that we've been working on. I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, because if I keep talking, I'll probably end up giving it away. So let's just say that you'll want to sign up, and you'll want to hang out until the end to find out what this big thing is that we're working on. It's very exciting. And we'd love to have you join us, even just for the summit. And just, there's going to be a lot of tips and advice and, knowledge that you can use from, like I said, educators that we've had at the retreats in the past, and that will be there in the future also. So I think that's all we had for today. Thank you so much for joining us on the Wildflower Woo Woo Show. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time, and when you open the door to your spirituality. Thanks so much. Take care.